Back at the start of the year, we heard the first murmurings of an AI podcast, as reported in The Guardian. When announced last year, it promptly created an apocalyptic reaction. It was said that some were digging out a national treasure and reanimating him against his will, with some reports claiming that it was rather silly and took a lot of work than we should really think about. And when normal podcasts are created, they only really need one or maybe two people to sit down with a set of microphones and have a conversation. However, the Talking AI podcast takes a whole team to be able to run AI Parkinson. The team behind the AI podcast said to The Guardian, quote, "It's a full room, but we do usually need everyone here," said Mike Parkinson, the presenter's son and one of the podcast producers, along with Ben and Jamie. Quote, "It's too much work for one person. Ben has got enough on his plate just making sure that everything works. He needs me and Jamie to have our eyes and ears. There's the idea where we're creating a thing that is going to strip away human jobs, but we're not. We're probably using more people to work on this than we could if we were just running a traditional talk show with humans involved." In the same report, we heard that the lengths that the team went to ensure that, quote, "I help the various organizations across the media write policies and legal and ethical responsibilities of use of AI, but last year everything stopped being hypothetical and the podcast was commissioned and then we started working on it." There was of course, core questions about can AI be good enough at interviewing someone in person. Well, in the same report, we heard about one of the people who had gone to the studio to be interviewed by AI Parkinson, and they said, quote, "who entered the studio at the end of the day promoting his new TV show, British Gardens, and he seemed to to be unruffled and a bit weirdness being addressed by a dismembered voice of a dead guy, but although offered up a few interesting nuggets about his life and the growth potential as the interview proceeded. The main challenge seems to be it seems to be like being interviewed like a brick wall. There is no reaction to what you say. I know personally, whenever I'm interviewing people and I help them feel more comfortable when it comes to being on camera, it's always good to give ideally a visual cue when you're recording video content, but obviously if you were just helping someone with an interview on a podcast, you could also then have audio cues as well, because you can just mute that person's microphone, and it allows you to help them kind of feel like they're really being listened to, and that they're doing well and they've got a level of validation. Quite a lot of this report also talked about the fact it feels a bit weird because you kind of want the interviewer to like you, as we would normally be conditioned, but it is, as I said earlier, like being interviewed like a brick wall. So is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Let me know in the comment section down below. However, with the team claiming, like any AI, it will constantly be getting better as the series progresses. So, quote, "the series is evolving and in theory, the Parky you hear at the end of the series will be much better than the one at the start," end quote. They believe that the whole point of the show is to explore the relationship between AI and humans. After the writer from The Guardian shares how he felt about being interviewed, he also asked if the team was years away from having a virtual representation, so a form of hologram, I would assume. Quote, "the visual representation of Parky is subject to react to. We're a bit far off. Is it years away, decades away even?" They answered about 5 to 6 weeks, he said. "Like it or not, the future is already here." So that was something that I was personally very shocked about, because it did seem and does seem as if they are moving pretty quickly. Now obviously we'll see whether this happens or not, or whether this is unlikely to be the case. But so likely, anything with AI nowadays is going to get better and better. Does this mean that we're all going to be, all the biggest podcasts in the world are going to be run by an AI presenter? Or is it just going to be another hype wave that potentially is just being pushed by the tech bros? What do you think in the comment section down below? I'd love to hear what you think. I think it's an interesting experiment, an interesting idea to see technology being used in this way, but I'm unsure if it will become specifically moved forward or specifically likely to continue to be used as much unless the viewership and the reaction to these podcasts, and it becomes, I think, cheaper and or more efficient to create the episodes. Because I think if you remove the whole human element specifically, surely aren't you removing the whole essence of having a conversation? But that's just my view. I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below.